introductions this morning. Also, we will have all of the slides of today's presentation available after the event. So if you put your name card in the registration desk, we can certainly email those through to you, so you have a copy of that to share. So Mike's been very kind to give us all the slides available. Also, I would just like to thank you for coming this morning. Firstly, introduce you to our MC for today, Mr. Darryl Judd. So Darryl is the Group COO of Logistics Executive and is also the Non-Executive Director of LogiSim. So Darryl, if you could come to the stage. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's been a busy week for logistics and supply chain, yeah? Can we just get one of the staff to close the door at the back there, please? Can we close that door? Thanks, guys. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests that are in the room. It's my pleasure to welcome you to what is this first of the series of the LogiSim CEO Breakfasts. As Cassandra said, my name is Darryl Judd. I am the Group Chief Operating Officer for Logistics Executive, but I also am a Non-Executive Director of LogiSim, and LogiSim is a creation that started about 3 years ago. It's part of the Logistics Supply Chain Management Society, which is based in Singapore. It has 30,000 members, and I'm proud to sit on the board of that. LogiSim primarily came about 3 years ago as a trade publication. It's now distributed to over 80,000 supply chain professionals in Asia, Oceania and the Middle East. In addition, LogiSim runs a series of breakfast and dinner series like this and 3 major conferences. In fact, it was reminded of me just the other day that this is our 30th event in just 3 years, which is quite an achievement for a non-for-profit industry body. Events like this don't happen by chance, but they only happen with a whole bunch of people behind the scenes, all of whom are volunteers, bringing this together. And so I would like to extend a warm thank you to Cassandra Lee and her team, Joanna, Camilla. Well done. I know that you've put all this together along with Peter Raven as well down in Singapore. They don't happen without financial support either, and so I'm very pleased to say that we've got on board InSync. InSync is one of the world's leading researchers organisations, and we're going to hear from Des in a few moments. Also Logistics Executive Group, and I'm pleased to have in the room Mr. Mark Miller. I can't quite see where Mark is. Mark, where are you? There he is. For those of you that don't know Mark Miller, he is quite a flamboyant, popular figure around Hong Kong and around the global markets, but he's also the author of what is now one of the fastest selling books in supply chain. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend you do read it. And Mark, can we, I think you've got some copies to sell today. So it's sold in 35 countries. It was launched in June, and the Global Supply Chain Ecosystem book is available with a 20% discount, Mark. I probably went too low on that number, didn't I? So I'd like to just remind you, if you have a chance to grab it, it is a fantastic read, and it certainly provides you with a lot of insight into what is happening in our economies here in Asia. So without further ado, I would like to invite our 2 sponsors, starting with InSync, Des McGowan, just to come up and say a few words to introduce InSync to you. One of the exciting things one of the wonderful things about being a partner with InSync is we get to see some of the forward thinking of their research, much of which is on the back for you to take with you today. But next week is an exciting week for them. They have the launch of their Employee Value Proposition Survey, which is an annual survey that helps us understand a little bit more about employee behaviour. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Des McGowan from InSync to tell us a bit about that.
Hi, good morning. At the start, I must apologise. I've had my speech slashed by a sixth. Thank you, Kat. InSync is very pleased to be here today to be sponsoring this very important event. I'm very pleased that we've got some of our own clients and friends here, so thank you for that. So in through the very short period that we have, I just wanted to leave you with one important sort of message from InSync, and that is, having regard to the issues we're speaking about and just the challenges that are happening across the logistics industry from North Asia, organisations, particularly in times of economic and organisational uncertainty, have to be positioned, have to maximise their capacity to effortlessly adapt to change. and to effortlessly adapt to uncertainty. A highly engaged workforce is a key outcome and determinant of an organisation's sustainability to change with a highly challenging workplace. How do we know this? Instinct specialises in partnering with clients in the development of organisational high performance, which includes building organisational strength and also sort of resilience. Instinct is an Australian-based survey company. We are focused on sustainable high performance, and we do stakeholder surveys for employees, for customers, and also for boards of directors, as well as doing other survey work to support that. All the issues we've been having a look at, that I've been having a look at in terms of the research for what's happening in North Asia and its implications on logistics, would ordinarily constitute a perfect storm for any organisation. They, more so for organisations who have not developed inbuilt organisation-wide sort of resilience to be able to weather, while highly engaged organisations are not able to alter their external environment. They can definitely position themselves internally to be much better positioned how to do so. I want to talk today about just one of our pieces of research, which is on productivity and innovation. We have some others at the back of the room. So this piece of research on productivity and innovation was drawn from a survey database with over 100,000 employees and 200 organisations. And the background for that paper was to understand the unprecedented extent and pace of change in industries and identifying what organisations could and should do to be able to accommodate perhaps those challenges. So this is particularly apt for what's coming out of North Asia and its impact on logistics organisations. So the research for that paper argues that in order to survive and be sustainable in challenging environments, organisations must be more competitive and differentiated and be able to continually add value. Organisations have told us that they had to improve their capacity to innovate, change and become competitive at a faster rate than their competitors or peers. They told us that unless they could begin to achieve such a positioning, that their capacity to improve their profitability and therefore their sustainability would have disappeared. We can go down the route of technology and new systems and improved processes, but the key driver of productivity and innovation was clearly shown to be the extent of a high degree of engagement and the presence of a supporting culture. There are two out of a lot of outcomes which I just wanted to leave with you in terms of the research from that. Highly engaged staff are at least 3.5 times more likely than the disengaged staff to agree that their workplace is committed to improving productivity. Highly engaged staff are almost 5 times more likely than disengaged staff to say that their organisation is committed to bringing innovative products and services to the marketplace. Each of these issues are issues which do spring out of the challenges that have for North Asia. So our paper on productivity and innovation has contained so much more than we can talk about here, but a key finding from the research has been the identification of 5 key drivers for improving engagement and hence productivity, and therefore helping to become a more resilient organisation in stressful uncertainty. In summary, I ask you, how well is your organisation tracking on these engagement set of drivers? Are you and your fellow senior leaders able to paint a compelling picture of the future for your organisation? Are your employees' roles and actions linked to your organisation's overall goals? Are your employees' skills and talents being appropriately actioned? Is there proof that your organisation actually cares for your employees, and is your organisation building a high-performance culture? Thank you for that. I ask you to have a look at the rest of the research we've got, and also to have a look at the website for our paper on employee value propositions, which will be out at the end of perhaps next week. Thank you, and I hope you have a successful breakfast.